and welcome to Blades of Fire. This week I was lucky enough to go down and play the game for a couple of hours, and damn, this is a game. This game got announced at the very end of February, I believe, and it's coming out in May 22nd. It's made by the guys at Mercury Steam. They're behind the Metroid games, or some of the Metroid games. Castlevania, a very prestigious studio, working on a brand new IP. And here's some gameplay. So this is B-roll in the background. This is not my own footage. So what is the game? The game is it's like sort of Souls-like, semi-open world. It's very, very Souls-like in my opinion. So you have these anvils you go to. You can rest. All the enemies come back. You can upgrade. You can make weapons. You can craft weapons. And I believe this is the actual intro to the game as well. This is a preview, by the way. This is not like a let's play or anything like that. It's just the gameplay in the background. But I share my opinions in a very professional manner. And that's the main character, Iran. Might have said it wrong. Apologies if I have. I'm terrible with names. What the? So there is a queen that has put a curse on all of her enemies that have turned basically steel into stone, basically. So, and your job is to basically kill the queen. You grew up with the queen, you know of her, but you're gonna basically kill her. That's how it's gonna work. So there's actually some really interesting combat in this game. So with the square button, you can do a left attack. With circle, this is a PS5 controller. Circle, you do a right attack. Triangle is a head attack, X is the body. And you will see these particular body parts highlighted on characters. And to bring your stamina up, you have to block, which is an interesting. Yeah, as you can see there. So he has a steel weapon. We have an iron weapon. He has the ability to craft weapons, this unique ability to craft very, very powerful weapons that were granted by the giants before him. Yeah, the combat is very, very, very interesting. So as you can see at the moment, he's now orange. So our weapon only does moderate damage. Eventually you will meet enemies that have certain body parts or the whole body highlighted red, which means you will do no damage to that person at all. So yeah, it's pretty in-depth and it's quite interesting. I find it a little bit daunting at first, the combat, but once you get into it, once you sort of get it, and with each of those attacks, you can charge them as well. And the game is pretty visual. Like, you will chop off someone's head, you will do a lot of damage. What happened there? Oh, my weapon broke. I guess I now have a steel weapon.
Your steel
Lovely.
won't save you.
Oh, it will. So you can see it. Now it's highlighted green, so we're going to do maximum damage once we deploy the attack. You can dodge, you can parry, you can block. There's the dodge. Looking really good. Wasn't completely sure at the game at first. There's a lot. Whoa. Just a little bit later. Oops. Well, that was pretty, basically died with his choking on his own blood. Lovely. Yeah, at first I wasn't quite sure about the sort of how the combat was working, but once it sort of clicks, it can be quite rewarding. So there's actually 3 difficulty options as well. If you really want that difficult experience, that sort of proper like Dark Souls experience, you can go for the steel option. I ended up turning it down a little bit because I was struggling to progress a little bit. There's like a sort of mini boss. I just kept dying. It kept killing me. I'm not a massive like Dark Souls player. I don't sit there and just do the same boss over and over again. Obviously, I wanted to try and have some progression during the event, but it can be quite difficult. But I do like the fact there is difficulty options there, which do make it slightly more approachable. And here is the crafting hammer. It looks a bit like Thor's hammer, actually. This is where you sort of enter the realm of being able to forge your own weapons. Forging is very, very big in this game. Crafting your weapons is incredibly important. Making sure you have the right materials. So you pick up materials in the open world by killing enemies. You want to gather as many materials as possible. I actually was doing so bad at one point. I'll discuss in a minute.
Where am I?
You stand in the Forge of the Gods.
What am I doing here?
You are now the bearer of a sacred hammer.
Who are you? And what do you want from me?
Forge your steel here and prove yourself worthy.
The fact you're able to make steel weapons is a pretty unique quality in this world. And I've really enjoyed the crafting, actually. There's a lot of different options. There is a big focus with this game with durability. Durability for a weapon is big. I actually found this hammer weapon quite useful because the durability was so big on it. But some of the more bladed weapons or swords, I do a couple of attacks and the durability would be quite low. And certain weapons can only be repaired a certain amount of times. So at first, if you're playing the game, I would probably focus on making the durability as the best possible it can be. Just focus on durability to make sure your weapon actually lasts. Because you can only carry so much. And if you have no weapons, if you're doing no damage, it can be quite a nuisance. Because there's quite a few enemies in this game. So that's an interesting balance in it. It's obviously one I'll probably get used to. This reminds me of like a sound wave. Basically, you're knocking it those bars below the line. That's the sort of shape of the weapon it should be. I don't know if I was being a little bit too cautious, but I was struggling to get past 2 stars. But the B-roll smashed it. 4 stars, which means we can do 4 repairs. Is a good quality weapon for this stage of the game. It will go all the way to 10 stars later on, which is a massive jump as you get better materials, better blueprints. To get blueprints, you have to kill like a certain enemy or certain amount of the same enemy, and that will unlock different blueprints that you can craft. But we now have that hammer, which I actually really liked using, so yeah. So obviously got the ability to heal, we've got the ability to switch weapon now. We can press down the D-pad to heal. That's our healing ability. Again, watch the blue bar. When you go into block, it will go up. So if you're like a big if you're a big dodge player, you're gonna have to block at some point. It's just how the game works. You're gonna have to get that stamina back, believe me. Even the weapons you carry will have a debuff on your stamina. So you'll see the stamina bar changing as you switch weapons. And when you die, by the way, you drop the weapon that you're holding on the floor. So you have to go back and retrieve it. I was doing so bad on my first proper run. I lost all my weapons. I had no materials to repair my weapons. And they were like, oh, this has never happened before. But once I got into the groove of it, I've done okay. Perfect block. Done a little heal up there as well. And you can rest up all the enemies. When you get to an anvil, your health will come back. The health replenishing will come back, and obviously the enemies will come back as well. So yeah. And you've got obviously the ability to go to the anvil to craft weapons, repair weapons. Weapons only have a certain amount of repairs. So this has got 4 repairs on this hammer because it's 4 stars.
Pack the ox, boy. Time to go.
Yeah, the game is difficult. It's not a God of War game where you can jump into it and feel fairly competent. It is in the realm of like a Souls-like game in terms of that difficulty, I'd say. And if you guys have got any questions as well about the game, let me know. Another game just got announced basically, and we're already playing it. We're already seeing gameplay as well. It's coming out in May. Another negative. It's not coming out on Steam. coming out on the Epic Games Store for PC players. Coming out on PS5 as well, coming out on Xbox Series X and S. Not heard about any sort of Game Pass thing yet. That's not happening. But yeah, Epic Games Store,
much about this
PS5, Xbox.
I used to, but that was 15 years ago.
This is the domain of the necromancer Acides. He's lord to the Queen's Banner.
Never heard of him.
Abbot Doran and I passed through these lands on our way to yours. The creepy stories about Acides. Kidnapped families, desecrated tombs. Don't even get started on the bloodthirsty rich.
Look.
Those are...
The Queen's dogs. What you heard must have been true.
What do we do now?
We kill them. This will be our little hiding spot for now, until we progress further in the game. Now we have one simple mission, and that is to kill the Queen. This game does not hold your hands in terms of direction as well. You have to work it out yourself. And this is the our very, very first hand build. So again, we can travel, so you can fast travel, you can repair. You can also, if you don't want the weapon anymore, you can recycle it for materials. And what you'll see on the sword there there is basically a percent on the sides of the sword and also the front of the sword, the sort of pokey bit. And you can change your stance with the sword. So if your weapon is damaged on the sides, you can then change your stance to be a bit more pokey and focus more on the pointy point of the sword. Yeah, there's like a lowdown of what I explained earlier. There's all different styles of combat. It's really interesting actually when you've got particular body parts that you can focus, and it'll highlight it on the enemy. So this guy's currently all red, now all green. Certain enemies will have harder arms, for example, and maybe like a weak head, and you can focus on the head by pressing triangle. Lovely block there. The guy can play in this game is a lot better than me, so that's good. Not much of an achievement though. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, you see the different stances there. So you press, you just tap R2 to change the stance. Some of the attacks when the enemy is not fully aware you're there, really satisfying, particularly once you charge them up. Again, very visual, very graphic, blood spurting everywhere.
I hope my observations on the Queen's dogs are useful to you.
Well done, lad. I'll read them when I have a moment.
And if you want to, you can just dart through here very quickly and sort of progress, but there's a lot to sort of explore and find. Things you probably want to find, to be honest. So I'm pretty sure the gameplay you're watching is, I think it's the medium sort of difficulty. I think it might be called Iron. And a lot of stuff in the game you can smash. Barrels you can smash, you will find loot in there as well. I really like this game. It's not my sort of game, but I really got into it, which I think is definitely a positive. One thing I have noticed with this gameplay in particular, it's a bit, compared to what I've played, it's very like oversaturated. It's like quite orangey and yellowy compared to what I played when I went to the event. So I don't know if that's something to do with the recording. It looks a bit more softer than this. This feels quite harsh. I don't know, maybe it's just the time of day, I don't know. But you can see there's a lot of, like, you could potentially miss this path completely. I know I did. Always make sure your stamina is back by pressing the block button. Which does feel a bit weird to say, but that's how the game works.
I will destroy you.
I'm guessing this B-roll is a developer, and even he's struggling from time to time with the combat. He's getting hit occasionally. Ooh. Yes! I like a lot. If you guys have any questions as well, feel free to let me in the comments. I can then ask the devs, or I can answer them myself, dependent. So that was I believe, basically I think I find 4 of those, and you can basically increase your stamina. So the video has to be edited. As much as I would like to just upload the full gameplay, that is not allowed. I probably already uploaded a little bit too much ago. This is probably the first like kind of like harder enemy. I completely missed this when I played the game. I didn't go this way at all.
Not much, Flash, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah, he's found his groove now, this player. Very nice blocking. You see, he's like, was he yellowy there briefly? See, he's red now, look. So we can only target the arms and the body there with the sword. But he changed his stance, and I believe the green, basically the highlighted options changed. So it went to green, it was orange. I find the combat really interesting in terms of targeting particular body parts. Having that particular weapon as well, like having to switch. One of the first weapons I crafted was a spear, and that was very useful. Particularly against certain enemies. You can keep that range while also poking the head, which is normally quite a vulnerable area for most enemies. These you can find throughout the game. I believe they level up
Statue.
It's a
certain
forger's
weapons.
deity. The first men carved hundreds of these in wood and scattered them all around the world. We'll find many on our journey, and they are said to reward any who bear the weapon they hold,
How?
with new parts that you can use to upgrade your weapons when forging.
This enclave is taken by the Queen's forces. Crossing it won't be easy.
We still have time to turn back, right?
Oh, we ain't turning back. So that was an axe back there. Hence, we couldn't really get the upgrade from it. We don't have an axe. We have a hammer and a sword. Look at these things.
But that's impossible!
Never mind that. Keep writing, kid.
I feel like a lot of people are going to like this game. I'm feeling pretty positive about it. Again, I really enjoyed the gameplay. I think there's a lot of Souls-like fans that I think are really going to get into this game. Lots of exploration, interesting story. I love the crafting mechanic with the weapons. Can be a bit daunting, obviously. You want to have durability. Again, I really found this hammer really useful for durability. It never really sort of took a while to break for me. Maybe it doesn't do as much damage. Maybe the attack speed isn't quite as good as other weapons, but the fact I can always depend on the hammer, yeah, thumbs up to that. And I think trying to managing the forging as quick as possible to try and get the max rating. That arm just came straight off. Is going to be useful as well. If you can get those 4 stars straight away, yeah, very useful. So this is the sort of first like proper area. Again, I missed all of this. I went more to the left and sort of continued, but there was a lot of exploration I could have done here actually, which I regret not doing. Yeah, I swear the lighting and the colour is off in this footage. Doesn't feel quite right. Love it. Was that Claire asleep? I think he was.
If they're as good as the previous ones, they'll serve me well, boy.
Yeah, massive benefits. So we need 2 more of those to then increase our stamina. And as you can tell, stamina is a massive part of the game. Massive part of the game. You can even have weapons that focus more on maximizing your stamina, if you want. Obviously, normally at the cost of attack power. See, the hammer's quite effective against these enemies. Hence, it's highlighted green. So we're doing max damage. Okay, if they're red, the highlighted red, you ain't going to do no damage at all. Which again is terrifying.
A little higher! There! I've got it!
So this is a little bit Souls-like in terms of we are creating passages here that basically turn into shortcuts later on as well. Will be quite useful. How was
Kid,
that?
grab that.
That's a forger's cryptex!
Ooh,
I'm opening it.
there we go. Not quite sure what they gave us, but we'll move on. These are some quite useful tips as well when you're watching this for when you first play the game to sort of maybe go through the same path. 'Cause I think it's quite an effective way to start. You can miss a lot in this area, believe me. I know from experience. I was talking to I believe one of the devs. They were tempted to add another difficulty option to make the game even harder, and I was like, oh god, okay. You do you, I guess. Just found another anvil. Again, we can now travel back to the previous anvil. We can repair our weapons. We can forge if we want to. We can rest up, which we haven't done actually. Did we rest up? Maybe we did actually. I'll take that back.
Forget it! There's no way into that damn swamp.
There has to be. Orders from the Queen, find the old witch and
Got a health upgrade?
If we don't, they'll slit ours.
Hello guys. Now that was good. You get, by the way, when you're in like a castle environment and you're in like obviously the width of the arena is smaller than it is now, your weapon will just hit the wall. It will just get bang, bang, and you'll just keep missing. So that's when, again, you can change the stance, maybe change the weapon to a spear, for example, or the sword, and go for a bit more of a pointy stance. You have to think about what you're doing in terms of combat. You can't just go swinging. You gotta prepare, work out what's in your environment. Is your weapon ready for the next attack? Is it damaged? Is your weapon even going to do any damage to that enemy? Again, you gotta prepare. So this is the route I took. I went basically left and went straight down here. Don't know why. I should have definitely looked around more. Pretty sure I found that. There we go. Little stamina boost. This guy surprised me. Honestly, I jumped out of my skin. I had no idea anyone was there. So you see, we changed the sword then. It went to an orange attack. I think that might be partly because the sword is slightly damaged. The pointy bit is damaged. Might need a repair. But again, weapons can only take a certain amount of repairs. So working out when to actually deploy and fix a weapon can be a little bit tricky. Like, you need to sort of pace yourself a little bit. Someone waiting here for me. Hello. So this is the environment where I had the hammer, which I was enjoying, but I was just hitting the walls. I was hitting the side walls. This way to change the stance and think about your move. Don't just swing like me. Oh. What happened there? Did we mean to do that? I guess then that maybe goes somewhere else because the handle came off. Maybe it could be somewhere else. Impressed by how many like levels there are as well. It's not like a massive semi-open world bit here, but there's loads of different levels. You can really explore and get a little bit lost as well. Okay, you don't really have like a objective at the moment. It's just to get through. Oh wow. What the hell? I would have found this. Fair play. And there's a sword thing here as well, so if we wanna... That might be a long sword though. Nice. And you'll see it's counting certain enemies that you kill. So blueprints, again, I mentioned this already, are locked to a particular enemy. Again, you have to kill like 30 of a certain enemy to unlock a spear. And this is unlocking some basically quick locations for us to travel through. If we happen to die and go back to an anvil, we can just ride on through. Pick up a bunch of iron. A very basic resource, but definitely useful. Another chest. Yeah, this man knows where he's going.
Kid, grab that.
That's a forger's cryptex. I'm opening it.
Got him. You do that. And we're gonna do some more crafting. I think we're about to, was that a sword or a spear? I think it's a sword. Or a dagger maybe, actually. So you can pick each sort of element of the weapon and you see the sort of materials eventually branch out a little bit. That's when we unlock the 10-star weapons, which I can't wait for. I'm guessing at that point when you need the 10-star weapons, and you see every formation of the weapon has a benefit, a debuff, a negative effect, and you got to sort of work out what you want from your weapon. I think early on I'm definitely going for more durability, even if it's a minor negative damage, because I want to use that weapon for a long period of time and I have to worry about repairing it. But yeah, I really enjoyed the Fulgent actually. Even if I didn't quite nail it, again I think my max was like 2 stars. I can work on that. It's fine. Again, I think I was being a little bit too... I was doing too many hits on the weapon. I should have been a bit more aggressive. So you can change the amount of strength you're going to hit it. You can change the sort of angle of attack. And when I'm watching this, he's being quite sort of, yeah, bang, get it done. He seems to be nailing it. I was just panicking about every time there was an orange bit below the white line. But it doesn't seem to have a massive negative effect on the sword. He done it again. A 4-star weapon. Fair play. I appreciate all the love and support on these videos. If you guys want me to do more, it does take a bit of time for me to go to these events, and obviously I appreciate all the support. I know I'm not like a proper like Souls channel, but I've really enjoyed the game. I think I definitely want to check it out when it comes out. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. I'm definitely intrigued by it for sure. Goodbye, evil fence. What's happening here?
Enough ruckus, vermin.
Does anyone have anything here? Oh. Whoa, okay. Was he inside there? I think he was. Nice. See, this sword is... This new sword we got is pretty effective against this troll. Made a lot of damage.
Petrified. It regenerates. You can avoid that by mutilating it when it stays.
So if we done any attacks then, it wouldn't have done any damage. I'm guessing this enemy has multiple health bars. Yeah, of course it does. Oh, it's nice, there we go. Oh, I just chopped a limb off! Oh, damn. I love the fact this game got announced and it's out in a couple of months. I think that's so cool. We don't see that often these days. We get the occasional quick release, but considering how big of a studio this is, I know so many people are looking forward to this game and waiting to see what this studio does next. The fact we're like, yeah, here the game is, here's the previews, coming out, boom. I appreciate that. Blocking does definitely lessen the amount of damage that's done to you, but you still take damage, so it's a balancing act again. Got a couple more. Yes!
It's finally fallen!
Something tells me it won't be the last.
I'm pretty sure that's one of the enemies, even when you rest, that enemy will be dead. Don't worry. How they didn't hear that, I don't know. In fact, there was a bug where the enemy wouldn't wake up. I think that might have been fixed by now, but yeah, kind of funny.
Final notes on the Queen's stock's ready. Now on to the illustration.
I can't wait to see it.
These guys have more armor, right? I'm wondering if the sword would not be great. It's more like blunt weapon. Is it able to do a bit more damage? So we're starting that 4-pronged attack on the stamina again. Got to find 3 more of those, obviously the stamina bar will go up. You want champ? Again, a reminder, this game is coming out on the 22nd of May. I don't believe it's like an early access thing. Kind of gutted it's not out on Steam day one. I'm guessing there's a reason behind that. Sounds like it's going to come out at some point on Steam, but just not for launch. PS5, Xbox Series X and S. I will definitely be checking it out day one. One thing I've got to do is just try and not feel too pressured to always make progress. With these games, when it comes to, it's kind of like work at the same time. I get a bit stressed out playing these games. And we have a new scroll. I believe we're going to craft a spear, which is one of my first alternative weapons that I got in the game as well when I was playing. So you'll see there, once you kill 20 of a certain enemy, that blueprint will become available. Which again, I think is kind of a cool way to unlock blueprints. You could grind them out a little bit if you want to. You can, if there's like an anvil near that enemy, you could take 10 out, go back to the anvil, rest, go again, unlock the blueprint, and it could be quite useful. Yeah, I would, personally, early on, I would focus on durability for weapons. You need them early on. You can have weapons in your infantry, but not in the quick slot. So I guess you could carry around weapons that aren't being used at the time, and then you can quick select them later on, I guess. Also, I don't think you've seen it in the gameplay, but again, a reminder, if you die, you drop the weapon you have in your hand, and you have to go back and retrieve that. I don't believe if you die again, the weapon disappears. You basically have like a second chance to go and get it. It'll just be on the map. You can go and find it. What you're gonna do is basically walk over it, and the weapon has been returned. 4 stars again. Fair play. Yeah, I think I was doing too many hits. I think that was my issue. I was being too cautious. I'll let the rest of the gameplay play out, but I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I appreciate any support with the like button, subscribing. I'll be checking out Blades of Fire on launch day. Thanks to 505 Games for inviting me down to the event. And yeah, enjoy the rest of the gameplay.
Thanks for the... Confidence, kid. Hey lad, any idea what this is?
Yes. This is a sign of a Master Forger.
And where can we find a Master Forger?
None remain alive. I heard a rumor some time ago that one of them was exiled to Carlethel Swamp. I reckon she must be dead by now.